Hey, everybody. Thanks for making it to another edition of Legit Takes. I'm Tony Vandermark. This is Lionel Jones. We're going to have another great show for you. We are talking about all things Timberwolves, right? Why wouldn't we? It's the most important thing to talk about in this town for at least the next 4 to hopefully 8 weeks. We can only dream, right? Today's topic is Anthony Edwards, the GOAT of the Minnesota Timberwolves of all time. Now, we're not talking about 80 years, right? But it's still a long time. It's a great subject. But to kick it off, we're going to just start off with the top 25. Lionel, you got any comments about that? This is going to be fun, right?
Let me just say something really quick, because I know we're going to get comments, and we're going to make a lot of people upset, Tony. Because people are going to say, look, it's too early. Let Ant be Ant. We don't. It's too early to say whether or not he's a GOAT. There's been stuff going around the internet comparing Ant to Michael Jordan, and a lot of discussions on whether or not he's a GOAT. So because we are legit takes,
that's right.
We're going to take on this subject today in a very interesting way. So let's do it.
And we're being nice because we're just keeping it to Minnesota only today. If we went down that Jordan road, that's just not good. So we're going to go over the top 25 Timberwolves. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each one, so don't worry. But we're just going to mention some names and then watch our own reactions. Think about the memories, if we have any memories of these guys, and just to show you how far down the rabbit hole we had to go to even get 25. Let's think about that, right?
Yeah.
So the top 25, right? Number 25. I got to get to my page here. Sorry. Number 25, everybody's household name, Corey Brewer.
Wow. I haven't thought about Corey Brewer in a long time. Mr. Dynamic, good defender, very good athlete.
Yeah, it's his best year with the Timberwolves, 2009 to 2010. 13 points a game, 2.4 assists, 34% from the arc. This is our top 20. This is our number 25th best player of all time for the Timberwolves.
Okay.
We're just going to move on. Number 24 is a legit name. You got Terry Porter in there.
Terry Porter graduated from UW-Stevens Point, Division III, to make it in the NBA.
But I think of him as more of a coach. Right?
Yeah.
And this is why. Because his best year was 95-96, 9.4 points a game, 31% from the 3-point arc.
Wow, but he was so smart, Tony. He was so smart.
He was. He did have 5 assists a game. I'm not going to say he was a true shooter. I get that he was more of a point. But still, this just shows the depth we have to go to get to 25 players. Number 23, Anthony Peeler.
Oh, the left-handed 3-point shooter.
Yep. And this is the only player I might ever find on the team, other than maybe Naz Reid has this chance of doing this. His best year, he had a better shooting percentage from 3 than he did from the regular field. 45.3 and 44.5 from the regular field goal percentage. So that's impressive, but still only 13 points a game. Right?
I remember that.
So these, on to number 22, Trenton Hassel.
Ooh.
Trenton Hassel.
There's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
It's been a while. 9.2 points per game. Not much of a 3-point shooter, obviously. 46% from the field. This is our history. We're reveling in it, right?
Yeah, he was Mr. Intensity, though, Tony. Played with a lot of grit, a lot of intensity.
He was the Pat Beverly before Pat Beverly knew it was Pat.
That's right.
Pat Beverly, right? Yeah. Ryan Gomes, number 21. Another 13-pointer per game guy. This is where we put all these 13-point per games guys in the 21 through 25s. 2008, 2009, he was in the Kevin Garnett trade.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
They were pretty bad after that. But Gomes is okay. Right? That's the legacy. Number 20, then I'm going to pass it on to you. Randy Foye.
Wow. Mr. Facilitator. If I remember Randy Foye correctly, the guy could score from the perimeter and light it up from outside. Had a really, really good game. But that's a name I haven't heard in a while either.
Yeah, and here we are. This is where the arc starts to change now. We're at to 16 points per game. That's 2008, 2009. I'm going to pass it on to you. Number 19. That's a pretty big name.
I've got a
I
good
remember
one.
it well.
I got a good one at number 19 for you. Troy T. Hudson.
That's right.
Yes. He was known for being able to really shoot the three. Really, really good guard for the Timberwolves. And he was a rap artist. Did you know that, Tony?
Yeah. That's T. Hud. That's why you get that name. A lot of these guys have rapper names and never do anything with it. He actually did. And I think he's still alive, which is great.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of guys that go down that road don't last very long. So I'm happy for him in his new career or whatever he's doing now. Yeah.
Number 18 is one of my favorites. I'm sure he's a fan favorite. I remember when we drafted this guy, Ricky Rubio.
Wow.
Mr. Assist.
I have so many memories.
Oh,
yeah.
The excitement of pairing him with Kevin Love. Just great times. Best season was 2013-14, averaged 9.5 points a game, but 8.6 assists. Ricky Rubio.
Look at that shooting percentage. That's what I remember about Ricky. Every time he had the ball, pass it, please pass. Don't shoot, pass, yes, pass the ball. And how long did we have to wait for him from Spain?
2 years, I believe.
Draft 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the Minnesota process of we're going to draft a player and wait years. I.e. Kaprizov from the Wild. It's just a history that started, I think, with Rubio.
Yeah,
but kind of began.
Yeah, what's intriguing about it? Just retired this past season due to mental health. He had to take some time off, but had a stellar career in the NBA. So really, really love Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Number 17. Here's a name. Michael Williams. One of the best point guards that's ever played for the Timberwolves. Really humble guy. In the year 1992-93, averaged 15.1 points per game, 8.7 assists per game. Couldn't shoot the three very well, but was a floor general. Kind of reminds me of a Mike Conley type player.
What I remember about him is, didn't he go like weeks without missing a free throw?
Yes. Great memory.
Just a freak at the line.
Great memory. Number 16, Tony. We all know this guy. So does PJ Carlissimo. Latrell Sprewell. Boy, remember the excitement when we brought him in and we paired him with Sam Cassell and KG? That was a great run.
Kids got to eat, remember?
Yeah, kids got to eat. And it was another one of those things where if that foundation could have stayed together, they probably could have made a couple of runs.
I so agree.
Best season, 2003-2004, 16.8 points per game.
What I can't believe is who is ahead of him after that. You go with that next one.
Oh, my gosh. Number 15, Tony. Nikola Pekovic. Big Peck. 17 points per game. Now, this shows you how far the NBA has come. Because he was a big bull. Wasn't super athletic, but one of the strongest players to ever don a Minnesota Timberwolves uniform. 17, I can't believe he averaged in 2013-14, 17.5 points per game, Tony.
Oh, it's just, yeah. And what's fun is the next two I've got here are really interesting. Doug West.
Gotta love Doug.
Who I love Doug. The only thing with Doug was weird is that I think you and I could have shot from three better. Other than that, he was great. He was just a pure shooter that just didn't like to go too far out, right? A great mid-range jumper, a little bit of a long-range jumper, but you start getting him beyond that line and the yips hit. So, and he struggled with some stuff too, right? Personal stuff. So probably a career cut short, but a great guy. Sam Mitchell, number 13, another Terry Porter graduate of the coaching school. Right?
Yes, he coached the Timberwolves.
Yes, smart guy.
And now he's got a great career as an NBA analyst.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, NBA
where
TV.
Is he on? Where is he at?
He's on NBA TV.
Oh, he is. Okay. That's why I always watch this deal. TNT and those guys. I don't dial around enough, but that's cool. That means he's just still in the league and he's loving it. So these next two guys are yours. This is gonna be some big memories now.
Yeah. I love this guy because I've always been a Duke guy. Coach Krzyzewski and all of the players that Duke has put into the NBA. Christian Laettner, one of the best, one of the best Timberwolves of all time. I would put him on the Mount Rushmore. Really, really, really gritty player. 18.2 points per game in 92-93. Was a part of the Dream Team. You know,
Yep.
can you imagine a Timberwolf being a part of the Dream Team? Christian Laettner, one of the best Timberwolves ever.
Yeah, it's the only thing with him is his size, right? He tried to go inside and play the 5, and that was tough. He's better at the 4, and that was the only thing that went wrong with him.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
next guy too, a lot of memories with these guys. It's crazy. I
No,
miss these names.
yeah, number 11. I thought he would be a little bit higher on the list, but I understand. I get it. Number 11, Stephon Marbury. It's so funny that Stephon Marbury is at number 11 because I just watched a interview with Stephon Marbury, and they asked him why did he leave Minnesota? Was he jealous of Kevin Garnett? And he said he loved the fans, he loved KG. It was just too cold. He couldn't deal with the cold. He said he had about 6 black ice incidences where he
Oh,
almost crashed and killed himself. And he said mentally he just couldn't take it.
I also heard he wanted to be the man, and he was never going to be the man as KG. So he blamed black ice, and we'll just roll with that, right?
That's right. That's right.
And we're going to whip through these next ones because we want to make sure we get to Anthony. But JR Jr., Isaiah Jr., JR Ryder. Right? I mean, just the dunks that guy would throw down. This was like the undeveloped Anthony Edwards, right? He was
Yes.
such a poster child for like problems and referees and not showing up to practices on time. But the guy was a menace when he was on the floor. And everybody wished he just could have kept it all together. And I really wonder where he is now. That's how interesting he is to me. He's
Yeah.
like our version of Dennis Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So who do we got at 9?
Wally Zerbiak. Wally Zerbiak, one of the greatest shooters the Timberwolves have ever had on their roster, from Miami of Ohio, doing a great job on television. I believe he works for CBS. Has one of the most distinct faces that I've ever seen in my life.
That's true. The eyebrows and the forehead. It really kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Who's next?
I really thought about Wally that way. We got Googly. Tommy Gugliotta.
Yes.
I remember that guy being able to shoot lights out and then being called Googs. But the years he was around, we're just going to move on. Number 7, who do we got?
Tony Campbell. Guy's got a great first name. Tony Campbell, year 89-90, 23.2 points per game.
Stuff. That's like the very beginning.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
Who's next?
I'm surprised he was ahead of these other guys. Terrell Brandon's number 6.
Stop and pop.
Okay. I'll have a disagreement here. I think there's some other players that could have gone ahead of him.
Yes.
That's okay. He's got some, Cleveland background, but we'll leave that for another day.
Yeah.
Number 5. Come on now. You have fun with this one.
The original, Tony. The original Timberwolf. The OG. Pooh Richardson. The man that started it all. 17 points per game in 1990-91. Best season.
Yeah. He's an original draft pick. That's what's crazy. So now we're into the fact that we realize who was missing from the playoffs in 2004 and why we didn't make it through. Number 4, Cassell is ranked so much higher than Sprewell just because of the damage he could do from the arc, 40%.
So smart.
And it's just sad that he just, wasn't able to stick around a long time and make that dynasty, like you said. But, we all know who he is. But look at number 3. I almost forgot about this guy.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that he's number 3.
Big
Al Jefferson. He didn't have a super long stint with the Timberwolves. He was the replacement for Kevin Garnett, if I believe, when Kevin Garnett left and went to Boston. Came in 23 0.1 points per game. Best season in 08-09. Big Al.
Yeah. And this is why we're having this discussion, because this article is not even recognizing one of the best players in the Timberwolves. Number 2 is Kevin Love. And I was not a big Kevin Love fan. We'll just move on.
Didn't Kevin Love have like 32 or 33 double-doubles in a row?
Yeah, but he was he didn't like to go inside a lot in key moments, and clutch shooting was sometimes an issue with him. He kind of reminds me of other players in Minnesota that have huge stats, but just didn't really push us over the hump when we needed him to, you know?
Yeah. And number
So you got
1
the
on the
number
list,
one.
drum roll.
That's right. I wonder who this is.
KG, Kevin Garnett, Mr. Timberwolf, Mr. Everything. Best season. He had a lot of great seasons. Best season, 03-04, 24.3 points per game, 13.9 rebounds. What a force he was.
And the blocks, 2.2.
Unbelievable.
And then I thought he was better 3-point shooter. He just knew when to pick him, I guess.
Yeah, I think
25%.
he got 25%. Yeah, I think he became a better shooter late in his career. Early, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah. So we brought up that article because who's missing, right? Mr. Ant is missing. And that is why we have this discussion. We've got a few minutes left for this. This is why we're here. I am drawn to basketball because of pure athletic ability. Hockey is one of my favorite sports. Baseball is also a favorite sport. Soccer, I'm a huge Liverpool fan. I'm kind of a weirdo. I love all kinds of sports. Vikings too. But the only way to really stand out in any sport is to rise above somebody from 16 feet away, get your feet 3.5 feet off the ground, and posterize somebody from 2 feet above the rim. And that's the only way that's going to happen with athleticism is in basketball. So I love watching crazy athletes do crazy things, which is why I'm not as big of a WNBA fan, because I like the aerial act. I like the alley-oops. I like the huge dunks. That's who I am. That's why I love it. It's like home runs in baseball. I love the big thing, but there's nothing more athletic than watching Anthony Edwards go up and down the court. And when the teammates get the ball and they see him running down the floor free for a dunk, they gladly let him do what he needs to do so that they can have that, oh my gosh, bench moment where they're all losing their mind. Because they're as big a fan of him as we are. And that's what I like about him. He plays defense. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year someday, I hope, especially for his position, I should say, because all these big guys right now are ruling the roost there. And his shooting ability has improved so much, his consistency, and when it's not working, he knows how to go inside and get a closer shot or draw the foul or find a teammate. And most 22-year-olds don't know how to do half of those things that have, almost the same amount of talent as he does in the past 20 years. That's why I'm so excited about him. And just based on raw talent alone and where he is at 22 and what he's done for this team, based on what KG did for this team at the same age, I feel like it's really close, but I'm going Ant.
Woo!
What do you got? Legit takes. Let's go.
That is a legit take. I am going to disagree with you somewhat.
Oh, that's all right. We need to have that once in a while. We can't agree all the time.
Somewhat. I think when you look at KG's body of work, that's hard to get past. What's phenomenal is we named a list of players that were absolutely fantastic. But as great as some of those Timberwolf players were, they couldn't get us to the promised land. Right. KG, as great as he was, couldn't get us to the promised land. If Anthony Edwards beats the Denver Nuggets and gets us to the Western Conference Final, he, in my opinion, becomes equal to Kevin Garnett because it's all about the ring, Tony. And if you look at the NFL, you look at Dan Marino. The one thing that everyone says about Dan Marino is that he couldn't win the Super Bowl. You look at NBA, Karl Malone, John Stockton. They could never win a championship, could never win the ring. This hurts your legacy. If Anthony Edwards leads the Minnesota Timberwolves to an NBA finals appearance, getting past the Western Conference Finals, it is over. The discussion is over in terms of who the GOAT is. It will be Anthony Edwards. Until then, you can talk about him. He can be in the conversation, but Kevin Garnett will forever be the GOAT of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Legit take.
Yep, I agree with you. And no, this podcast was not brought to you by Viterbo. It just looked that way. We're representing high and mid here. The guy's got the shirt on. I got the hat on.
Go VR.
Props out to the. Yeah, that's right. Huge props out to the program. Love what you're doing over there with the girls, and can't wait to see more games this year coming up. And I know you're working hard in the off season, getting more people brought in and signing more kids. So I know you're doing a great job out there, but we are going to.
We got to get out of here, man. We got to go.
Everybody, we are having a lot of fun with this. We hope you enjoy what we're doing. We just can't wait to come back and do another one. And enjoy the series, right? Enjoy the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Jones?
Like and subscribe. Help this station grow. We need you guys.
You're the best at reminding me to do that because I watch so much YouTube and I forget. But we have had a great time, guys. And we are Legit Takes. We have had a great time. And we will see you real soon. Real soon. Especially if the Timberwolves motivate us to do so.
Go Wolves!
Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Take care.